Hand Drawn Lips is recorded and produced on Kulin Nation lands.
We pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging.
Sovereignty was never ceded, always was, always will be.
Hand Drawn Lips.
Hi, Declan.
Hey, Anastasia.
Well, hello.
Well,
hello.
hello.
There. It's good to see you. How are
Welcome
you?
to Hand Drawn Lips.
Yes, that's the name of our
And
podcast.
I'm well.
Good.
I'm really well rested, actually.
Me too, actually.
Mm.
That's amazing.
I know. It's because we both have
Synchronicity.
nowhere to be.
Which is fine,
Mm.
except for here in this moment. Me when I'm
Fuck.
present.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Mm.
It's summer. You actually couldn't tell by looking out the window right now because the cold change has come. Oh my God. What a fun hat. Look at that.
Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
See, people watching from this window is actually really good because it's low enough where you... So the pros and cons are ultimately... Pros, you get to see a guy with a cool hat. I saw a guy, like, trying to fight vehicles, like big metal vehicles.
Yeah. I saw a guy grabbing empty packets of Manchesters, and then when they were empty, he would go, ah!
Yeah, you got growled at.
I got growled
So
at.
that was interesting.
Seriously.
But the cons ultimately are that you can hear every single vehicle that drives past.
People get out their winter fits for the one day every 2 weeks that we have a cold change here.
It's important to me right now. I had someone stay over recently. And
Congrats.
yes, thank you so much. Congratulations to me. But he lives on top of a very busy tram stop, and he was worried about the noise. And then he stayed over, and there were like 19 motorbikes like driving past at like 2 a.m. And I was like, so it can always be worse.
Yeah,
basically.
Literally, fuck
Um,
those people.
Yes, I'm sure they have their reasons.
Well, we should do a little bit of a recap of, I guess, what's been happening. We've both been having our fun employed summer, which is really just about maximizing as much time as you can spend drinking wine in the sun. And it shows. I'm tan.
We've developed
I'm
some
tan.
beautiful, healthy tans. It's happening. But it's happened. It's
Yes,
happened.
thank God.
I have like a crazy tan line that starts about here, and it's crazy looking.
The goal is to stand next to someone and make them look sick in
Yes.
comparison.
The goal, as always, is to make others look sick in comparison. This is mogging.
Yeah,
This is what they're calling mogging. Yes. So this is our first episode back.
It is.
And according to my calculations, it should be about February, I think.
Yeah, thereabouts.
This is being
TBC
released.
on that. We don't actually know when this is coming out.
Yeah.
What's going to be happening in February? What are going to be should we make some predictions?
Yeah.
The headlines of the day.
We really could. Well, do we want to recap our summers
Anthony
first?
Albanese shot.
I hope not.
No, cut
That
that.
would suck.
What if that actually
election
happens?
announced
True.
probably
True.
by then
Mm.
for May, maybe.
Yeah.
I've been trying to work on this like essay thing.
For the election.
Yeah, I want to release it on Substack before the election.
You should do a little like these are all the promises, like a quick cheat sheet.
Well, what I wanted to do is be like, here's how to spot a logical fallacy.
Great.
Like, this is what it means when someone's lying to you, or like this is how to spot, like this is how to decode that language so that you can be more informed. Maybe that's the initial sort of thing, but I got kind of distracted with my summer, so the research sort of got put out the window a little bit.
With
but
looking as good as possible in the
looking
sun.
as good as possible did become the priority over
Yeah.
political and civic education. That being said, we will get there.
Yes.
By the election, hopefully.
I've had an amazing summer. I did go back to Brisbane.
Yes.
Which is the place where we were
Oh, this
born
is-
and
well, I wasn't
went-
born there.
cut that.
I was born in Melbourne.
That's unfortunately a bank security question.
It is. I was born in Melbourne,
Yeah.
but I did my schooling in Brisbane, as I like to characterize it.
Yes. Well, Brisbane to me is a place where I will return.
Yeah, I've sort of like, because I don't really have family there anymore, I don't have much reason to return. A lot of my friends have moved to Melbourne, and it's interesting. I never expected that to be the way that it went, but everybody sort of just moved away. My parents moved to Sydney.
Yeah. So you're there's nothing fundamentally about Brisbane that you're rooted to anymore.
It's kind of
Rooted.
crazy. Rooted. Bah, bah. The other day. Bah.
Yeah, and equally with me, I have like a circle of maybe 4 or 5 people down there that I would like to see. And I saw them all. So that was good. Though probably not as much as I would like. And then I have family down there, but family down there also small. You know?
You mean up there?
Oh, God, I can't with this.
It's like it's been 2 years. And every time... You know what? It's okay.
I think I just literally, like, I disagree with the Mercator projection, you know? The flattening of the Earth onto a map.
North,
the designation
North is up.
The pole. North is up. But why is North up? Seriously. Frankly, like, point north right now. But is that up?
Sure.
No. Up is up here.
Technically, it's back. But, like, if I was like, we need to go up to Coburg, I'd be like, we need to go up to Coburg.
Yeah, I guess. I'm always... down for me is, like... It's more of about a style of movement than an actual literal direction. Like, I'm going down to Coburg.
I'm going down on Coburg. What about that? Is that anything?
I wish.
Too early.
Just kidding. I would never go there.
Yes, you would.
I kind of haven't really in my entire
time. Oh my god!
Yeah.
You need to hang out with me and my beautiful cousins in Coburg.
Okay, set it up.
Literally like doxing my family. Yeah.
Looking for vibe. Yeah, I just fundamentally disagree with it. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going up to the supermarket or something like that. Like,
yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Going up someplace to me is like this. It's like, it's
I'm
so
actually
formal.
really now, only now, 2 years into our beautiful friendship, really beginning to see your perspective.
Yeah.
Connect with me.
I'm connected. Yeah, it's more like going down someplace is really just about having a chill approach to life generally.
If I were to analyze it, I'd be like, it speaks to a hierarchical positioning. You are descending into Brisbane because you are inherently above that.
Oh, well,
wow. That's maybe not so
your
nice.
words, not mine.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So why don't we just leave that one?
I've been exploring since going to Brisbane. We famously have this thing about the 6-day rule.
Yes. Okay. This was me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Do you want to take this one?
The 6-day rule, if I may. Sorry, I just have to hold space for that.
The floor is yours.
I realized very quickly when I was going to Brisbane and staying with family, as one often does when visiting a hometown, is that I could not be there for more than 6 days without regressing into someone I didn't recognize. That's my journey. Now, the 6-day rule manifests in different ways for different people, but you usually hit about day 7 and you're like, I need to go home.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about this with a friend of the pod, Freya. I think it's something to do with the fact that, frankly, and especially now that I'm unemployed, we are just leading like completely curated lives, and there's kind of never really a point where I'm having to do something I don't want to do.
Which is a wonderful position to be in.
Yeah, an amazing place to be in. But something about returning to Brisbane recalls basically a time in my life where I was constantly doing things I didn't want to do. And even though I'm like completely free, like no one was holding me down or anything like that, I couldn't help but feel
a sense of obligation, right? Or to maybe like repeat whatever. Yeah. I mean, we don't have to go so
but
serious
literally
into it.
Entirely internal. Like,
well, that's the thing, but it's like, I don't know. The thing about being in a place like that is like you're just snapping back into a sense memory. Like it's like this is how life is here. Like this is how things are done here. I don't know. It's kind of strange. This was actually my first Christmas that I just spent solo, which was kind of nice. Like everybody, because my family is sort of like growing older and they have their own partners. They were like doing, Christmases with their respective partners' families. I chose to, instead of go up to Brisbane or Sydney, I just like chilled in Melbourne. Really, 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 really nice. Yeah, it was really nice.
It's good to take the pressure off the like ceremony of the thing. Does that make
that's
sense?
The thing. Yeah, I mean, because everybody, I don't know, like it seems like a very universal experience. Everyone I spoke to who had gone home to have like family Christmas or whatever, sort of came back and retold their stories with like a glimmer in their eye of sort of the pain of that experience. And I was like, shout out. I was swimming and kissing at Half Moon Bay on Christmas Day. It was fucking awesome. So might I suggest that for next year?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I was also swimming in the bay, but it just didn't have the same Melbourneified thing about it.
That is the thing.
Speaking of sense memory, I hope that 10 years from now I look back on this time in Melbourne and I go, Melbourne is the place where I am most myself.
Yeah. That's another thing that sort of rose to prominence in over the summer was instead of blurg, trying to retire blurg and go. That was your bit if you want to sort of take the lead on explaining that.
Well, I just, for people listening that want to try this out, sort of seeking out maybe a fun inside joke in your respective friend group. So you, what you want to kind of go for is like, imagine a witch is jumping up from under the floorboards to scare you. And that would sound something like, to me, like something like that.
It's awesome.
But feel free to put your own spin on it.
Absolutely. Take it and run. But for me, like, you really set the standard, and I'm like, that is exactly all I need.
After I got back from Brisbane, I ended up going to the Ninch with Boyfie.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
It was profoundly healing, and something about coming back from Brisbane and feeling this sense of being very trapped, and then just opening up was really catharsis. Really drew attention to the difference between those two things.
And I always say this, it's like when you move to a new city, there's like a little bit of a period in the start where you feel a sense of obligation to like return for like little things, like the
FOMO.
Yeah, like
FOMO
a friend's
aspect.
birthday or a big event or like whatever it is. It's like you need to go back because you're in this like halfway space between like making a new life somewhere else and also like trying to remain not relevant, that's the wrong word, but like you want to still be present within you know that prior life that you had built. And there is a point where you do that like one final trip and you arrive back at the airport here and you're like, I'm home, like legit, and it's awesome when it hits like that.
It rocks.
All right,
so what about the Christmas to New Year's period? I feel like is always very
Christmas to New Year's was good. Well, I had a very short-lived but very nice little summer fling, which was very sweet.
I know. So needed.
Honestly, it kind of served its purpose. I'm like, you know what? It was nice. It was cute. And when it didn't work anymore, that was fine. And albeit a bit sad, whatever. But yeah, the Christmas thing was nice to just like have a little like, this doesn't mean anything. There's no drama or family bullshit. It's just like we be having a little picnic at the beach. It was everything. It's also like a 36 degree day here, so it was hot as fuck.
Do you want to share how you rung in the new year?
Yes, once we made it to New Year's, so we were at the same event.
Pika, I was getting absolutely blasted on whiskey collars, $15 a piece, but
yes,
that's the price of luxury.
Is the price of luxury. I had a very specific kind of night, and on a night like that, for some reason, I can't be fully present in one situation. Like pretty much everyone, we were with such a huge group of people. Like there were so many people there. Actually, Sam McGowan and James Howe, friends of the pod, were there. At one point, I ran into Sam McGowan, who was like, tell Declan I say hello. He'll know what that means.
James actually found me in the crowd because I was one of the taller people.
No,
there.
legit. Well, you were kind of my anchor. I was like, where is everyone?
Yeah.
I look for the tallest person
Your
I
totem
can possibly
pole.
find. My totem pole. No, legit.
Pole? I'm like looking for the camera. I can't find it.
Pole.
Let's put an
It
applause here.
got to 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, let's get to the front of the dance floor. We are going to be dancing there where it's like, we're queer, we're hot. There's a bunch of straight people here. Let's like take up the space. Like,
you can start like throwing back when you've got something to grab onto, like the barricade.
Oh my God.
You really can start
it was
throwing.
So fun. Actually, at one point, I was with like another group of friends, and then there was like this one guy there. I was dancing with my good friend Annabelle, and then he taps me on the shoulder and is like, people are pointing at you and saying how hot you are. And I was like, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
If they'd like to come to me and speak with me, that's absolutely an option available to them. Feel free to pass that along.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. So was he lying? It's not clear, but I know I looked hot, which was good. In any case,
But untouchably so.
untouchably so. Yeah. It actually reminds me of something else. I'll get into it later, but remind me fragrances.
All right.
We're at about like the midnight point. Helena Hauff is playing. Very, very fun set. There's like a voice that comes over the PA system or the speakers, and it's like 2 minutes to midnight, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm like, legit, like, this sucks because I wanted to be like, Happy New Year, and like have a little midnight kiss, but I'm like, nope, my body is telling me like you need to get something out of you, like a very specific night. So I say to our good friend Gria, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna throw up, I can't be in the crowd for midnight. And then they take my hand, they take me out of the crowd to the bathroom. I'm dry heaving into a toilet. I didn't throw up, just sort of was like, Congrats. And then as I'm doing it, there's like, Happy New Year, and the whole crowd's like, and it was really funny.
Yeah, that's well, I'm impressed by you for moving through the tragedy of spending New Year's drive heaving into a toilet and seeing it for the hilariousness that it is.
I think, well, I had no other choice.
The absurdity that it is.
It was really absurd. And I will immediately be like, so what's symbolic here? What's the symbolism?
Purge
2024.
Purge.
Literally, the purge. I killed someone. Again, ins for 2025. One specific murder.
Yeah. We just don't know what it will be.
Yeah. Well, and we'll never know.
It sounds so premonitory when you say
Everybody
that.
gets one specific murder. One. Anyway, whatever.
I would choose to murder world hunger.
Oh, wait, you're awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, the levels are so fine.
It warms my heart when the levels are so fine.
Literally.
But yes, and then I was like, this is just funny. Like, it's just hilarious that I'm like, bleh, Happy New Year. And then have my little New Year's kiss with Gria, shout out. And then, and then I played this rave after.
Yeah, 8 stories up in an abandoned construction site.
8 stories up in an abandoned construction site.
I was counting. I was really scared.
The location
the scaffolding,
was amazing.
Like, if one bolt came out, I was like, this whole thing is fucking going down.
It was so much fucking fun. Everyone was safe. The music was like fine until Aaliyah Salem, this like DJ, took over the decks, and when she started playing, the vibe was just like fixed. And this is at about 4 a.m.
Yeah,
where like people were like, oh, I'm gonna go home, because the music wasn't really like, it wasn't good enough to like make people want to stay, which I think is a shame, but whatever. I'm sure those DJs were having fun.
Yeah.
But because Gria was playing at 5 and I was playing at 6, we were kind of like, oh man, this is like the long haul. So we're like sitting on the outside of this construction site. It's like super cold. We're like, what do you want to get for breakfast after? We're like,
by the way, that little like section on the outside past the wall, there was, I mean, obviously the whole structure was reinforced, but there were no support poles underneath that. Did you clock
what
that?
Do you mean?
So there was the central column of that, and then this sort of edge bit where everyone was standing, but it was literally a piece of concrete about that thick, and there was nothing underneath it.
It would have been reinforced inside with like rods.
Yeah, there would have been rods, but something about it was completely gravity defying. Defying gravity.
Oh, wow.
And everyone just seemed so at ease.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, and it was fine. Is the thing.
Yeah, no one died. I was like, if I walk out of here and then tomorrow I see like construction site collapses, hundreds dead.
Well, the thing is like, the people
hundreds
who were
of Melbourne's
organizing
best
it,
DJs.
That's gone too soon. It's like,
will not recover.
It was interesting because, the guy who was running it put these really strict enforcements on like exactly how the pickup was supposed to work. So they didn't give the exact location of where it was. They were like, here's where we'll meet. Every 30 minutes, someone will come to like pick you up. And if anyone's too rowdy or shitty, like you won't be let in.
Yeah.
And that wasn't actually the case, but it was stated that way, and it seemed really serious as a measure to actually weed out people who were gonna just be fucking around.
And also, Rebus, well, we were at the pickup point, and I could hear the music, but it was kind of hard to tell because on the other side of the Yarra, there was a party boat playing like Dynamite by Teo Cruz, and it was really hard to extricate whether
what was what, right?
to figure out, okay, this BPM is higher, so that's more likely to be the rave.
Well,
but we
that's
don't
the
necessarily
thing.
know.
Well, we arrived with a very specific group of people that we knew would be good and like safe to come with, and then we were gonna suss it, tell our friends, and then like have them come.
And by the way, the security was like a wet rag. Who'd you come with? Oh, we're playing. Oh, that's fine.
No,
Let in like
literally.
12 people.
And then it hit. I was like, I could have brought whoever I could have
Literally.
rocked up with like 50 people and it would have been fine. Anyway, whatever. It ended up being a really nice way to ring in the new year. But it was such a long fucking day. But I'm really glad that Aaliyah played. She really switched up the vibe. And then that got Greer and I excited because we were on next ultimately.
It's good to stay up till sunrise, I think.
It was so nice because
you just need to push through the 4 a.m. slump.
That's the thing.
We need a siesta
Uh-huh.
in the middle of the night when people are usually sleeping.
Exactly. We were brainstorming breakfast. Do you want a burrito? Do you want bagels? It was nice. And
That's
then
exciting.
Aaliyah started playing. We
That's
were like,
2 hours
fuck yeah.
past at least, just brainstorming.
Well,
breakfast.
we had a good like D&M chat. It was really nice actually.
Lovely.
It was just a perfect way to bring in the new year.
Drum and bass?
a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greer really played a lot of fun music.
Yeah.
And then I think I've played my best set yet at that rave.
You were seeing the crowd was a lot of like people's little brothers. So did you curate the set to cater for them?
I had like a kind of a plan of what I wanted to bring in, but then I was like, ultimately looking at the crowd, it was silly hours, like it's 6 a.m. You know, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just play like music with words that's like kind of fun, some trappy stuff, switch it up a little bit, get a bit psytrancey. And then at one point I played this peanut butter jelly time remix that I had.
Classic.
And just like brought it in and everyone was like, bleh.
Brings the house down every time.
That's the thing.
No, that's goof o'clock for sure.
1000%. My final note on that is at one point a DJ I really looked up to started bowing to me as I played, and I was like, needed that. That was
how the tables
form.
have turned.
Yeah, that was really good gratification in that moment. But yeah,
my addition to that is I left that around 3 a.m. and went to meet Boyfie at a place in Brunswick, which happened to be also where a lot of other people that we knew were, because it was this big like
it was
Project
huge.
X.
It looked so fun. It was like people on the roof.
Yeah,
like,
people on the roof. There was this girl on the roof just looking. She was like completely checked out. And then her friends run up and go, how did you get... Ruby, how did you get up there? And she goes... She wordlessly is like doing come hither with her fingers. And they're like, how did you get up there? How did you get up there? She still hasn't said a word. And then she bends down on her knees, like leans over the edge, puts out an outstretched hand, like the hand of God, and lifts them up.
Love.
With this like superhuman strength, like same kind of shit as when like a baby gets stuck under a car.
Like tsunami strength.
literally.
Yeah. So she lifted up a car and freed her friends and brought them up to the roof.
Seriously. And people were on roofs of all kinds. It's crazy. I don't know why it wasn't shut down. I'm not like they should have shut it down, but
it's New Year's. It was just like rowdy. Everyone got it.
I know, but it kind of fucks with my like understanding of how the world works. Like, I guess you can just have a Project X party and no one gives a fuck.
Well, that area also was not super residential. Like, it's next to a cafe, and like there's a bunch of like like factories.
You're not getting
around.
a disappointed letter from your neighbors.
You're less likely to. Your neighbors are probably very similar to you, in the sense that it's sort of share house moment.
Share house moment.
And then a lot of like the annoying people that would file complaints, older people, sorry to all those listening, if you're listening to this and you're old. Like,
well,
they've
been moved out of Brunswick.
They're at their holiday houses. They're away for New Year's. Yeah.
True, on the Mornington Peninsula.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that was huge. People of all ages as well. I guess it was a bit millennial. Not that that's a bad thing. Like, aging is
friend of the
Weird and
pod,
normal.
Kitty, was saying that like once it hit like sunrise, they were playing just like silly music, like with words that you could like la 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 sing to,
like Drake.
Sure, or like
People love Drake.
Like people are saying they love Drake. Many are saying this.
Not me personally,
Yeah,
but
it's
people are saying they love
it's
Drake.
being spoken about. But yeah, apparently the vibe was very good. I kind of felt a touch of FOMO with that party. I was thinking about like stopping in at it. We actually drove past it. Yeah, on the way
Damn.
to
Was anyone still there?
get breakfast. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Actually, friends of ours were there. It was like around the time that they left. So
Yeah.
it was like, oh, whatever. I wanted to go to bed anyway.
Mm.
And oh my God, like actually ringing in the new year at that construction site was so special. Like it was just such a beautiful view, the sunrise over the city. Like it was just like, it was like movie moment. Like I felt like clip art of like a sort of like anarchist teen. If you clip art, search that on Microsoft Word.
Oh yeah, sure.
In 2007. Hope
Yeah.
that makes any
Who's
sense.
anarchistine?
Anarchist?
Anarchist.
Yeah.
Teen.
Anarchist who?
A teen.
Oh, cancelled.
Well,
Actually, speaking of teen.
Dating 19-year-olds is in for 2025.
No, it's not. Who did I tell you the story about the high schooler that was at that party?
Yeah, they asked for your vape.
Yeah. So I'm like standing next to Greer. Greer's talking to a friend. I'm like dancing. There's this dude who's like 9 feet tall. And he's like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, oh, Anastasia. Nice to meet you. What's your name? He said a name where I was like, strike one. Weird as fuck name.
Yeah.
But he was giving Turak in a beautiful way. But I'm like, you know what? Everyone deserves to party. So that's fine.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about how we're in an abandoned construction site. And I was like, oh, you know, the company probably went bankrupt. And then he starts talking about bankruptcy. And I'm like, I know what that is. Like, it was sort of part of the work that I was doing at my last job. So I was like, but he was kind of mansplaining it. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then I was like, oh, so what do you do? Expecting him to be like, oh, yeah, and I work in like bankruptcy law or like at some sort of firm or whatever. And then he's like, no, I don't work. I'm at school. And I went, what? School or university? And he's sort of like dancing. He's like, what? I'm like, you heard me, bitch. I'm like, school or university? He's holding my vape at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? He's like, oh, school. I'm going into grade 12 this year. We just started 2025. So it's like, this is, you know, ahead.
That's crazy.
And then he's still holding on to my vape. And I kind of wanted to be like, I need to ask for that back. And then 2 of his friends are like, go, please have some of your vape. And I was like, get me out of here. Crazy.
Like, it's a fundamental need for them. I personally, I don't think, I don't think any of us should be at a space with a 16-year-old.
That's the thing, but I feel like it kind of seems as though here, it's like a rite of passage thing.
True, actually, because in Brisbane, I mean, there just aren't those spaces for 16-year-olds to beg for
or like
vapes.
house shows, maybe. Like, I remember going to a bunch of those when I was in high school and asking for cigarettes from people because this is before vapes. I'm 40 years old. And don't I look good? But yeah, I don't know. It seems like, it was a very normal thing to sort of like go to big warehouse or like illegal raves as a teen here. Yeah. What an experience.
Literally.
But yeah. What time are we at?
What's it? 27 minutes, so we can probably get into our diva.
Yeah. Should we jump into Diva Diaries?
Let's jump into Diva Diaries. Do you have one prepared?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Before we begin, Diva Diaries is a segment where we reflect on a diva from our week and we uplift her.
Mm-hmm.
My diva is... Oh, it's hard when you're just surrounded by so many. I kind of have 2, but my first is this girl, Ruby, who I was hanging out with yesterday, and she was recalling a time where she was cooking quite a lot of food, and then she characterized it as, mind you, we're sitting at a table with maybe like 8, 9 people. She was like, yeah, it was enough. Like, we made this beautiful spread. It was like this and this and this. It was enough food to feed a prison. And everyone was like, oh, what? A prison? And I was like, really interesting that was her first choice. I was like, I have to kind of honor that. It's funny.
Yeah. I wonder what about her. Maybe she just watched like a prison movie or something like that.
I mean, do you gaff about that?
No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She was a diva to me. Good thing I have a second. Who's yours?
My diva of the week has got to be... I guess it's got to be. There's a few. Okay, I think my diva would be Annika, friend from Brisbane, beloved by me, who
Love her.
ended up planning a little Friendsmas at her house, and then got me the Julia Fox autobiography
yes.
for Christmas. And then my other diva has to be this girl Ava, who I spent New Year's Day with at Laughing Waters, which is a kind of part of the Yarra way up, like out Warrandyte Way. And there was a little river rapid section where the river would tighten, so you could like sit in it and then move down. But famously, the thing about Australian rivers is that there's rocks all the way through, so you can't dive in, and frankly, you can't even swim because every part of you is going to be banging against a hard rock. And they're all slimy as well, so you can't even, you can't even sit still.
So what the hell?
You have to literally perch and like kind of. It's awful.
I have like a plane.
Yeah.
Like a toddler.
Yeah. There's only Anyway, immediately got on this river rapid, and then the whole way down was like like laughing, and then ow. And I think there's just something about like throwing yourself into a situation, kind of knowing it's going to cause you pain, but being like, the fun is worth it.
Wow.
Speaks to courage, speaks to bravery, speaks to that energy we're bringing into 2025.
Oh my god, wait, literally?
Literally?
People are saying they like pleasure with their pain. Nope, other way around. Pain with their pleasure.
Not me. I don't like.
Not obsessed, but
wait, do I prefer pleasure with pain or pain with pleasure?
pain with pleasure, maybe. I like choking. Some thinking.
I actually do prefer pain with pleasure. Because pleasure with pain is like, oh fuck, this pleasure contains pain. But pain with pleasure is like,
this is
fun. This is unexpected. My pain contains pleasure. Well, look, I have some for Is This Anything that you wanted me to remind you of this one word, fragrances.
This ties into my second diva, Annabelle. Annabelle, who I've known since we were like little babies. We met when we were like 15, I think.
Aww.
And yeah, legit. Ever since, like, she moved to Melbourne maybe 2 years before I did.
Yeah.
And was like giving me like the lowdown on like what to do, like where to live, like introduced me to so many of the people that I know now. And we were hanging out a lot more recently, and as I was like sort of trying to navigate the new name stuff and some like situationshipy stuff, she's just like the best person to talk to about it. Love her. Her partner has been really into fragrances lately and was asking me what kind of fragrance I wanted. And I was like, I haven't ever really thought about that. They gifted me this like one dupe fragrance thing that smells incredible. And then was like asking me to describe it because he's really into like the notes, and he like is just like been heavy into it. Yeah. And so I said, I want a fragrance that encapsulates the idea of someone smelling me. They go, I want to know more about this person, but I'm too scared to ask. And he gave me like 3 options. It was crazy. It was awesome. And one of them is the shape of a stiletto heel. And you remember the name to that, I think.
Caroline Huevera or Nuevo?
You sort of remember the name.
I kind of do.
Amazing. Well, yes.
You want a fragrance that really is like pew, pew, like slaps you in the face.
Well, I wanted it to be like elegant and like nice, but a bit scary. Yeah. It's like I'm by the pool. There's a beach right there, but I'm by a private pool right near the beach. You know,
there's an objectivity to fragrance notes which I don't understand. Like popular fragrance website fragrantica.net.
Yes,
has for every fragrance they have like objectively like these are the top notes, these are the middle notes, and these are the bottom notes, and then people give their opinions on whether they like it, but it's like definitively these are the notes that make the fragrance up, which is even that I feel like is varies from person to person.
There are things in this world that we will not understand. No, it doesn't vary from person to person.
Life
like the whole
can be very amazing, but also very treacherous
and kind of confusing.
Yeah.
You know what? We can leave fragrances to the professionals and to Annabelle's partner.
Yeah.
Shout out. Who is one of the professionals, I suppose, aspiring.
Well,
yeah.
Look, I hope we go into 2025 smelling good and feeling better. I have some Is This Anything?
Yes, let's go.
All right.
Is
Well,
This Anything is a segment where we pitch ideas and then we have to assess whether or not the idea is either everything or nothing. And unless you're me, you do actually have to pick one. It is a dichotomy that we're enforcing. It's a binary because some binaries should exist.
Not all, but some.
Not all, but some. We can pick and choose.
This first one actually is, I didn't even write it down. It's just popped into my head. Having a different sunscreen for your face and your body.
Everything. That's me.
Yeah. It's me too. What's your face sunscreen again?
It's nothing crazy. I like I did like the La Roche-Posay one, but boycott.
Yeah.
So
it also dries you out. It's like, it's not a very good product.
I don't know. Well, if you have a good moisturizer underneath, I don't know. I didn't get dried out by it personally, but I just have this like Woolworths one that's kind of nothing, but it doesn't make me break out. So that's good. But yeah, what about you? What do you use?
Well, I had this Japanese one, but I don't know. I feel like I understand that the skin is thinner on your face, and so generally you ought to use sunscreens that are less irritating, because a lot of the Cancer Council stuff will have like, in order to be effective, it has to have like a really high proportion of these sunscreen filters. So if you use it on thinner parts of your skin, like I notice the mid sides of my fingers will get like irritated or get a rash if I'm wearing it a lot. But not on like the rest of your body, because it's, you know, the skin is, I guess, thicker there. But I don't know. I just wish there was a all-in-one solution. Like,
that is the thing.
It feels almost absurd to be carrying around a face sunscreen, a body sunscreen, a fucking sunscreen lip balm. What's next? Like sunscreen for your freaking eyeballs?
Probably.
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
Yeah. Literally.
Legit so true. I just bought some $10 sunglasses and I don't know if they look good because someone said, oh, new sunglasses in a weird tone yesterday, but I like them.
Well, when you tried them on yesterday, you said they make me look like a bug, but I like that.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes like that's all you need.
Yeah, you have to understand the bug is not for everyone.
Yeah,
it's for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
You need to find the entomologists in your life that will appreciate it.
The bug appreciators.
The bug appreciators.
Yeah.
No,
Well, let me catch you in my net, diva.
I love it. Well, do you think separate sunscreen for face is everything? It seems you think it's nothing.
I wish I didn't have to have it. So in that way, it's nothing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. This is where we defer to your housemate Max and our dear, beautiful, sweet friend. Happy birthday.
Who has spent hundreds of hours researching sunscreen to his detriment.
It's like a yacht and a jet ski and sunscreen research. It's all things you want to have proximity to a person with those things. You don't necessarily want to have a yacht or a jet ski or the time spent researching it yourself because of how intensive it is.
But if they have the knowledge or the yacht or the jet ski,
you can benefit from it. It's about having proximity to it, but you don't want the burden of yachts are quite expensive to maintain. And
and to furnish.
My God, that's it. So it's a 2-bedroom apartment with changing sea views.
Yeah, and I guess a jet ski is as well. But
a 2-bedroom apartment with changing.
I wish they made prettier jet skis. Anyway,
that's true.
This one we can cut. Having a huge ass. Everything. We think we can agree. It's everything.
That's it. Keep that in, obviously.
Literally. I mean, it's kind of a constant journey for, I guess, all of us.
I have
some huge asses.
Yep.
Some photos of huge asses you'd like to show me?
No, I have some Is This Anythings, but do you want to do another one?
Sure. Word vomit.
Everything. It's the best thing you can do. No, honestly. I think my lesson from 2024 was like word vomit and then refine.
Yeah.
Like figure out what you think about something. Just get that shit onto a page.
Completely.
You may not like what you see.
It's about getting past perfectionism.
Perfectionism comes later. Like it's like an emergent thing where you take it and then you model it into something.
The thing about a conversation is it's kind of like the first draft is what happens. Word vomit, you have to actually be speaking it.
Well, that's the thing, but it's the same with like it doesn't just apply to writing it down, right? The first draft thought is an amazing like idea to bring into a highly recommend you bring it into your conversations, dear listener. But like if we're talking and I'm like, this is a first draft thought and trying to figure it out as I go, then like you're not necessarily beholden. Is that a word?
Yes.
You're not necessarily beholden to the conclusion you come to. Like you can explore the thought and be like, so therefore this. Actually, I don't know if I think that. Boom. Because you've said first draft thought and you're in safe company.
Yeah.
You can just like be like, oh,
You're with people who aren't trying to get you.
literally.
Oh, actually, I don't quite think that.
In a
But you
city-
said it.
in a city like this, bitch, you got to be a bit discerning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of, I feel like it's everything. Word
I think I
vomit.
do too. I
That's
think I
it.
do too.
Amazing.
My last thing that I'll say about word vomit is I think it's just like, some people are really held back by being like anything I could say would be dumb. And frankly, it's just not a helpful.
I feel like we were
thought.
talking about this. It's like you really like it's a very understandable thing to value like making sure you have really thought out what you're thinking, because like I don't know, the way things are, you never know what could be taken out of context, and you want to make sure you stand by everything you're talking about. But I think 2025 is about prioritizing and like actually having safe environments to be like, I don't know how I feel about this, and also letting yourself walk something back and like knowing that you're in safe company to do that. Like something I value about our friendship, about like a lot of the friendships that I have, is that I can be like, I'm feeling this, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I was having a sort of a sad moment at the conclusion of that like little fling thing. When we were talking about it, I was just like literally like in tears a little bit or whatever, just like being completely honest, because I was like, these are just the things I'm feeling right now, and they might change. And there's no utility to try and retcon in the moment how I'm feeling about this, or like be anything other than completely honest, because like if you start at your word vomit phase or like your first draft thought phase with complete and total honesty, then like you're not, I guess, like constructing a narrative that you don't even recognize and catching yourself in like a bit of a lie, I guess. So yeah, I think that like that honestly is something to bring into the new year, and was hugely helpful in 2024.
Beautiful.
I love
you
it.
had one?
Yes. I got sent 28 film photos from my 21st birthday almost just over 3 years ago. How old am I? 24. Yes, just over 3 years ago. And I look bad in all of them, and I kind of want to tell a friend that sent me them to like, I want to be like, can you destroy these photos? Like, it's like,
so frankly, the sending of those photos is everything, because it's, you have to remember where you came from to appreciate where you are.
yes, it is a yardstick.
Yes.
How far we've come.
Exactly.
Okay.
In 3 short years, you know.
That's it. Well, maybe we can look at I was like, Declan wanted to see them before, and I was like, you have to look at only the ones I want to show you, because some of them are fucking
Even the ones
horrendous.
you wanted to show me, some of them
were bad, but one of them was with like a clouded baddie, so I like needed to show
Hello.
that. That's important.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I had a close friend show me a photo book and then reveal the most hideous photo of them as like a 21-year-old, and they were so weirded out afterwards, and I think it whatever. I'm not ashamed of any person that I've ever been, and I
is
feel
brilliant.
you can't progress entirely if you are.
You know what? That is everything. Like I recently,
Wait, it's okay to have shame about things that.
It is okay. It
It's
is okay. But I think that like I had this like thing, particularly last year, as I started the transition. I think there was like a shift in the way that I looked at my past, and I was able to maybe contextualize it a little bit better. Prior to, I'd look through like, you know, maybe a story archive or like a memory would come up from like even just 4 months prior, and I'd be like, I cannot believe I was that person. It is so like deathly embarrassing. But now, like, I don't have that sense of shame anymore, like embarrassment over the past. Like, I'm sort of able to, like, look at that with a bit of love, which is nice.
We're doing the classic thing where near the end of the podcast episode, we start talking about overcoming shame. Every single podcast episode, this
Thematic
happens.
appraisal.
Yeah.
That's it. So we're in at this point, let it be a
nothing
segment.
we could say about overcoming shame would be anything that we haven't already covered.
This is true. Okay, me beating a dead horse. This is fun.
Yeah, meet the dead horse. Ow, ow.
Stop hitting me. I'm like, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, okay. My is this anything is woke milk.
Everything. I love oat milk.
No, woke milk.
That same thing. Synonymous. I am.
Yeah. I mean, I feel a certain way about oat milk because it poisons me.
That is so fair.
Yeah.
2025 out, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is oat lattes in yerba mate hibiscus carbonated drink.
Oat latte in. So mixing an oat latte with a carbonated drink.
No. The oat latte is out. It's gone. The in is a yerba mate hibiscus drink.
Natural sodas.
Natural sodas. Well, to whatever degree.
Yeah.
And then,
God, it really is the 20s.
Well, yeah, natural
We're all
caffeine.
drinking soda.
That's it. We need to get back into Coke.
Coca-Cola?
Yeah, well, whatever they were doing in the 20s. Coca-Cola in the 20s. Which,
Yeah, flapping.
Yes, bring that back.
Yeah.
That is in as fuck. I had another Is This Anything? And maybe this is my final one. What are we at for time?
Yeah, we're good for time.
Oh, swag. My final Is This Anything is I was speaking to my housemate and I was like, oh, sorry, I feel like I've been hoarding a bunch of like cups and mugs. I need to sort that out. It's like a shameful thing. These will be returned to the kitchen within 24 hours. But I was like, yeah, it's just sort of like an interesting peek into the state of someone's life is how many cups and mugs are in their room. And then they were like, no, it's an archival project. And I was like, that's brilliant and crucial reframing.
It's a very funny thing to say.
And was like, maybe you should like take photos of them. And I was like, I'm going to stop you there, but it is a funny idea.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't pull any of that multidisciplinary shit, hey?
It's like, I don't want to take a photo of it. And no one wants to see that for real. Oh, actually, there's a market for everything. Never forget.
Well, frankly, it's like found object.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, like everyone's doing found object these days.
It's kind of everything.
Everyone's finding objects. Oh,
And I
you
love
found
it.
an object.
And it becomes art. And I love it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can see you doing a photo series.
Perhaps. There are a lot of like things that I'm manifesting for this year that I'm excited to work on project-wise.
Right, but cups and mugs in your room
Cups
is
and mugs,
not
like,
one of them.
Actually, kind of what I'm manifesting is like maybe like less cups and mugs in the room. And to be honest, like so far so good. We're at a grand total of
You shut your
2.
eyes. You open them. All the cups and mugs.
They're
They're not in the kitchen though.
And then I close my eyes, open them again. No one's here.
Yeah,
Padded room.
they are falling down.
They're falling down on my head, and I'm in a padded room.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to really
Womb.
drive down. Padded womb. I'm in a padded womb.
Oh, a
A padded room. I like an asylum. Like I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Writing the same 3 words over and over.
What are
until
those
the
3
page
words?
is, let me out. Free me, please.
Whoa.
Yeah. That'd be good. Is that anything?
Oh, not really, but it's okay. It's
yeah,
okay.
divine. Well,
I feel like this whole episode we were just speaking so quickly. What was that? So quickly.
I took 2 Dexies before.
Bruh, and I'm just high on life. I just had this French press coffee.
Incredibly strong coffee.
Yeah.
That's the way it
Yeah,
goes.
honestly, that'll do the
Honestly,
trick.
That will do the trick.
Well, here's to an amazing 2025 to all our beloved lipinators.
Cheers to that. And to you.
And to
Clink.
you, the listener.
Yeah, thank you for being with us for the launch in 2024.
Have a
and-
hashtag lip summer.
Have a
Use
hashtag.
the hashtag lips summer.
But it's February, so lip autumn.
February still summer, babe.
Really, really, really glad you clarified
Yes,
that.
yes.
I needed to hear that.
I know summer's not over. Frankly, it's just beginning.
good.
We've still got a few more muggy heat waves until this one.
Yeah,
until this is over.
2 40-degree days.
Yeah,
It can kill a bitch.
it did kill a bitch.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye. All right.
Love.
And with that, we're done. Mwah. Bye.